I know this might be a little controversial because for most Nigerian fans of the Super Eagles, they hold Wilfred Ndidi to a high claim. You know, Wilfred Ndidi is highly respected in the Super Eagles team. He always gets to start every game. He starts, and it's been like that for the last few years since like 2016. Wilfred Ndidi has been a regular starter in the midfield for the Super Eagles. But to me, he's overrated. He's overrated. Wilfred Ndidi is overrated to me. He doesn't suck. He's not a bad player, but he's not a great player. He For the Super Eagles, at least, he's mediocre. He's average. Um, he probably plays at a higher level for his club team, Everton. I mean, he doesn't play for Everton. My bad. Indeed, he actually plays for Leicester City. He probably plays at a higher level for Leicester City than he does for the Super Eagles, and that's not a big surprise. A lot of players play at a higher level for their club team than they do for their national team. National football is a little more tougher, more intense, especially African national football. But Ndidi, to me, he's a basic player. He's not fast. He's not a great passer. He's not the type of passer who's going to thread the ball through the middle of the field and make a perfect pass regularly. Um, he's not the type of passer who's going to make long passes or anything like that. Yeah, he's good for making like short, medium range passes, or yeah, but he's not a great passer. He's not a playmaker. He's not a great playmaker for a midfielder. Um, and he's not creative. He lacks creativity. He's not the type of midfielder who has like outstanding dribbling skills, who can dribble four players at once. You know, he can't. He's slow, so he can't really outrun defenders. I mean, he does not offer our midfield much. I mean, people say he's a good defender. Um, he's probably a good defender for the Premier League, for his team in Leicester City. But when he comes to play for the Super Eagles, he's just a decent defender. I've been watching him play for a few years now, and I never see him defend at like an extremely high level. Like I don't notice him being like a great defender. Like I don't really see it. Um, Whenever I see, for the most games I watch Ndidi play for the Super Eagles, he doesn't really get tackles. He doesn't intercept the ball much. You know, so he doesn't do anything particularly well in the midfield. He's not an outstanding defender. He's not offensively creative. He's not fast. He's not a great passer. Man, I mean, he's a good body in the midfield, but Nigeria has so many talented players to start in that midfield for them to be starting mediocre players like a Wilfred Ndidi. And If I was Coach Igor Vaughn, I would give Wilfred Ndidi one more chance to start in our midfield. If Wilfred Ndidi does not play an outstanding game or an above average game against Ghana for our World Cup qualification match later this month in March, if he plays average against Ghana, I would bench Wilfred Ndidi because we have so many options in that midfield to be starting non-creative, slow players. You know, we need for our midfielders, we need playmakers who are fast, who are creative dribblers. For me, instead of a Winfred Ndidi in the midfield, instead of a Joe Rebo in the midfield, I'd rather have Chidere Juke or even Kelechi Inwakwale in our midfield. But Kelechi Inwakwale and Chidere Juke, they did not get called up for this World Cup qualification match against Ghana. And one thing that I'm fearing for the Super Eagles against Ghana is our midfield. Like I look at the list of the midfield, we have a couple new players in our midfield that our coach called up against Ghana, but I never really seen those players play in the midfield. But the other two players who are regulars on our team who are in our midfield against Ghana are Joe Rebo and Wilfred Ndidi. Both of those players, Joe Rebo and Wilfred Ndidi, they're not good enough to be our starting midfielders, and they're just slow and they lack creativity. And midfield is a vital part, of football. Midfield is that connecting point in the middle of the field that connects your defense to the offense. If you have midfielders who are slow, who can't run fast, they're going to have trouble pushing that ball forward for an attack. And if you have midfielders who cannot pass creatively, how are they going to create scoring chances for our strikers to score? You know, so man, I'm not knocking Wilfred Ndidi. I don't think he's a horrible player. I think he's a decent player, but I don't think he's good enough to be starting in our midfield. You know, but are you guys? Peace.